This is the Scrap Metal and Commodities Recycling Report by BENLEE Roll-Off and Open-Top Trailers and Raleigh Goldsboro Metal Recycling, March 7, 2016. In this report, last week there were increases in most metal prices. Copper and scrap steel hit 4-month highs. Related, the U.S. government has imposed a 266% tariff on some Chinese steel imports and less on other countries, including Brazil, South Korea, and Japan. This will have major positive effects on U.S. steel companies as they can now raise prices, which will have somewhat the opposite effect, hurting profits of U.S. manufacturers as steel prices rise, and it will help recyclers as scrap steel prices and volumes rise as well. U.S. steel production came down a bit again last week, but with some forecasting car sales hitting all-time new highs in 2016, imported steel volumes coming down, and other parts of the economy doing okay, many believe steel production will be up in the coming months. Oil rigs, major users of steel, had their count fall again last week and are now down about 76% from where they were 16 months ago. The oil rig count is now the lowest since December 2009, over 16 years ago. Also, oil rigs, when combined with the natural gas rig count, the combined rig count is now the lowest in about 70 years. A staggering statistic. Scrap steel prices came up again a bit last week, which is also resulting in some increases in some finished steel prices. Imported steel volumes, which have been coming down, remain well above where they were years ago, looking at this 10-year chart. This downward trend is positive for steel mills, but will bring higher prices. Hot-rolled coil steels, while showing down a bit last week, should be increasing in the days to come. Stainless steel scrap prices, after their small increase weeks ago, actually remains pretty low. Copper came up significantly last week to a new 4-month high on no real news, and came down a bit this morning in news that China has lowered their growth forecast to the lowest point in about 15 years. Copper inventories are near lows seen about 2 years ago, but also near lows seen 7 years ago. Low inventories will bring higher prices. And when looking at this chart of the stock price of Freeport-McMoRan, one of the largest copper miners in the world, we see it has more than doubled in the past 2 months, meaning investors believe copper prices and volumes have passed their lows. Aluminum was steady for the week and was near 6-month highs. But to keep things in perspective, aluminum prices actually remain near about their 7-year lows. Importantly though, with aluminum inventories also near 7-year lows, prices should remain under upward pressure. This chart showing the U.S. Institute of Supplier Management Survey for Manufacturing, which is an indication of U.S. manufacturing rates, shows that the index increased, but is still below 50. With the number under 50, it means manufacturing continues to contract in the United States. Very good news is that in February, about 242,000 jobs were created in the United States. But while not shown here, mining and manufacturing actually had declines in employment, which is a better indication of commodity prices. Lastly, we spent a day last week with one of the top metal and mining analysts in the world, from one of the top 5 global banking firms. We spent many hours discussing metal markets and recycling. Also together we visited one of our largest BENLEE roll-off trailer customers, who is one of the largest metal recyclers east of the Mississippi. The analyst's view is that we have seen the lowest point in steel and scrap metal prices, and markets should slowly rise from here. Related in an article in this morning's Financial Times of London, the chairman of ArcelorMittal has the same takeaway, that we have seen the low in prices. With that, we hope all have a safe and profitable week. My name is Greg Brown.